In the 50s and the early 60s, cocoa was Nigeria's major export commodity and highest foreign exchange earner. Then, the country was the second largest producer of cocoa in the world. The oil boom in the 70s shifted attention away from agriculture, and today, Nigeria has fallen behind Ivory Coast, Indonesia and Ghana in cocoa production. However, there is a renewed impetus by the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development to restore the lost glory of the nation in cocoa production and its entire value chain. This episode of Transforming Agriculture in Nigeria is focused on what the ministry is doing differently in collaboration with other stakeholders to enhance production and possibly attain the position of the largest producer of cocoa in the world. Keep watching for details.
Every part of Nigeria has something to offer.
The program begins with news from the diary of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development. In our lineup, Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development signs MOU with the Forum of SMEs, just as the ministry holds meeting to reposition the cooperative sector. Stay tuned for details. The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development has signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the National Forum of Small and Medium-Scale Enterprises to strengthen SMEs in the country. At the ceremony in Abuja, the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Ernest Afolabi Umahihe, stated that the agreement with the Forum of SMEs would enable the ministry to easily support small and medium-scale entrepreneurs who are into agricultural value chain and by extension impact positively on the nation's economy.
To have this umbrella body for SMEs is really an opportunity, and I'll tell you, we will collaborate fruitfully with you, and we will let you into our programs in the various agri subsectors and let's know where you can come in.
Also speaking in an interview shortly after the meeting, the president of the Forum of SMEs, Garba Ibrahim Gozo, stated that the forum cuts across all stakeholders in different value chains. Ibrahim expressed satisfaction with the step taken by the two parties to work together for the greater good of the nation.
I'm very happy for the Permanent Secretary to approve the constitution of a team that will work together with the forum from day to day, so they will be able to achieve some objectives, create employment, because agriculture is the major creator of employment, especially with the youth that already need to be empowered.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture recently organized a stakeholders engagement workshop for the members of the Cooperative Federation of Nigeria. The aim of the workshop was to explore ways of repositioning the cooperative sector in order to sustainably drive Nigeria's social and economic development. The Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, Ernest Afolabi Umahihe, who was represented by the Director of Special Duties, Fausat Lawal, stated that the nationwide network of cooperative societies in Nigeria will positively impact on the nation's economy and address the problem of unemployment. The Permanent Secretary urged the members of the cooperative societies to be focused and ensure strict adherence to the Cooperative Act in order to maximize the opportunities in cooperative societies and the development of the nation.
And for the cooperative sector to sustainably participate in developing Nigeria, we have the trust and belief in you that you can do it, and we will do it together.
Also speaking at the occasion, the Director of Cooperative, Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, Abubakar Jibril, said the event was also to celebrate the 2023 International Cooperative Day. Abubakar added that cooperative societies have over the years impacted on the lives of people in the lower cadre and have great potential to contribute to the federal government's agenda of renewed hope.
The International Cooperative Day is instituted to showcase the contribution of cooperatives to human progress, world peace, and how people all over the world, especially people on the lower rungs of the economic ladder, have assisted themselves through self-help efforts to overcome their peculiar challenges.
Global cocoa market attained a value of over $14 billion in 2022. This is because of the importance of the crop and everyday demand. In our next segment, record of the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, we shall focus on the economic importance of cocoa and the policy direction of government towards enhancing cocoa value chain. Keep watching.
Cocoa is an economic tree crop, farmed mostly because of its seeds. The cocoa seed contains a lot of fat and is used to produce a range of products, including chocolate. Cocoa is mostly grown in southwest Nigeria and some countries of the world.
It is a crop that is grown in the rainforest area, and it is a crop that is perennial, and it has a lot of benefits in terms of product and byproduct.
Nigeria is the fourth largest producer of cocoa in the world. It produces about 340,000 tons of cocoa annually. Ondo State is the largest producer of cocoa in Nigeria. The state produces about 80,000 tons of cocoa annually. Ogun State is also another major cocoa producing state in Nigeria, producing about 40,000 tons of cocoa every year. Osun State produces a lot of cocoa. It also produces about 40,000 tons of cocoa annually. Other states that produce cocoa in large quantities are Delta, Edo, Akwa Ibom, Cross Rivers, Oyo, and Ekiti, among others.
Presently, we are at 340,000 metric tons. And we hope that in the next 4 years, we'll be able to achieve about 500 to 550,000 metric tons. We also have the National Cocoa Plan. Maybe you are aware that has recently been signed by the Federal Executive Council. It's targeted at achieving a sustainable cocoa economy, foreign exchange earning, youth and women engagement in agriculture, and increase in production.
The high level of cocoa production in Nigeria has multiplier effect on the nation's economy in the area of income generation, food security, job and wealth creation.
In the last few years, it has contributed about 0.31% of the gross domestic product. Generally, agriculture has contributed about 24%, but cocoa alone has taken that chunk of 0.3%.
If you look at what cocoa is saying now in the international market, in June, around June, the price of cocoa is about $3,000 per ton. This you can make in even 1 hectare. 1 hectare of 1,111 trees can give you that. $3,000. Now multiply it if you have 5 hectares, 10 hectares or more. So there is money to be made in cocoa.
Despite the enormous benefits of cocoa beans and cocoa farming, the production, processing and marketing has challenges which include pests and diseases, climate change, finance, yields per hectare, among others.
We have environmental challenges. During the dry season, the weather here is too hot that it's affecting our cocoa tree. They started dying from the top. So you know when cocoa started dying from the top, but if cocoa is dying from the top, there is possibility that cocoa will not die, reach the ground. So there is still possibility for that cocoa to survive when rain comes. But you know it has already affected the production of that tree, because all the branches that are supposed to bear fruit has been dried. So it needs to bring out the new chupon. You see, this one that comes out at the side is what we call chupon. So we leave that one to grow. So we now cut the old one away. So this new one that grows now will now replace the old one. So this, I mean, this is one of the challenges we face.
The roads to most of our farms are so bad that hardly, even with footpath, with foot, we cannot get to the farms. We have written to the Federal Ministry of Agriculture because they are those that deal with rural development as well. But we have, still, when the government changes now, you have to move to where to sort out our problems.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development is not unaware of the plight of farmers and others in the cocoa value chain, and efforts have been made towards addressing these challenges.
What we do is that through the National Cocoa Plan now, there is a 10-year plan, and then through public-private partnership that we intend to engage with in that plan, we believe some of those challenges will be a thing of the past in the nearest future.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development is committed to moving Nigeria from the 4th position to that of the largest cocoa producing country. To make this happen, the ministry has designed a new policy direction and introduced several initiatives to enhance the cocoa value chain. These include establishment of a Cocoa Management Committee, 10 years action plan on cocoa, efforts to revamp the Cocoa Commodity Board, efforts to have a Cocoa Commission, development of new varieties and value addition, support for cocoa farmers and others in the value chain, collaboration with countries that are doing better than Nigeria in cocoa production, among others. In an effort to control diseases and encourage farmers and potential farmers, Federal Ministry of Agriculture has supported farmers in many ways locally, and it is also making efforts to establishing a Cocoa Management Committee to avail the farmers more rewards on their produce.
Early this year, the Cocoa Management Committee was set up, and the interest of that committee is to see how can we popularize the production of cocoa and let them also benefit from the living income differential, which the Ghana Cocoa Board are enjoying, the Cote d'Ivoire cocoa producers are also enjoying. And the committee has even taken steps to see how we can be part and parcel of that cocoa board so that we can also enjoy this LID, that is the living income differential.
The ministry, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, has also proposed a 10-year action plan on cocoa, and it has been approved by the Federal Executive Council. The action plan will take the cocoa value chain to the next level.
The action plan is just like a guide for how do we let us know where we are and where we want to go. Then in between is the strategy. How do we get to where we want to be? If you look at the production now, it's just about 340,000 metric tons. But the demand is 1.5 million metric tons. So that gap of 1.160 is really our interest now. It is only the action plan that can guide us to take us to produce this much.
The renewed effort would also bring back the Cocoa Marketing Board to ensure that farmers are not shortchanged in the scheme of things involved in the cocoa value chain.
Our programs vary, but the most important is the recent establishment of the National Cocoa Management Committee. And the committee is a strategic one because the present administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, in his speech, the first day of taking over, he said the agricultural commodity boards will be brought back. So the Federal Ministry of Agriculture has taken a proactive step.
If you recall, recently Mr. President has said something about the commodity boards. So it is our wish, if the commodity boards eventually come to fruition, they will definitely guide the pricing, particularly.
The program is transforming agriculture in Nigeria, and we are looking at cocoa farming in Nigeria. The potentials of this crop as a game changer in our foreign exchange earnings, as well as the efforts of the Ministry of Agriculture to develop the cocoa value chain and restore the lost glory of Nigeria in the subsector. In this quest, the ministry is not an island of its own. It collaborates with research institutes, financial institutions, and other cocoa-producing countries, farmers, and other stakeholders in developing the cocoa value chain. What is the nature of these collaborations, and who are the stakeholders involved? What will be done differently in this partnership to turn the tide and the fortunes of the cocoa value chain in Nigeria? This is our focus in our next segment. Keep watching.
In an effort to achieve the desired results of enhancing cocoa value chain, the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development has the Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria, CRIN, under its purview. The Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria has made a lot of breakthroughs in research work, which has enhanced the production of cocoa through improved varieties of the crop.
As for Cocoa Research Institute of Nigeria, we have the mandate and the responsibility to take care of our farmers through our research. Bring out new varieties of cocoa that are high yielding, that are resistant, and that are tolerant to pests and diseases.
The new varieties can produce in 2 years after planting instead of the 5 years taken by the old varieties.
Some years back, we released 8 new varieties of cocoa, which happened to be a big breakthrough in cocoa production. A breakthrough in the sense that ab initio, we used to have cocoa that starts producing between 5 and 7 years after establishment. But this new set of release reduced the gestation period from minimum of 5 years to 18 months after transplanting onto the field. This is a big breakthrough. Aside that, the ability to produce in large quantity is far advanced than what it used to be. From maximum of 400 kilograms per hectare per year, that one can produce up to between 1,500 kilograms and 2,300 kilograms per hectare per year.
Research by the CRIN also avails the farmers the necessary advice and information that can help them to succeed in cocoa farming. The effort of CRIN is not only restricted to the production of cocoa but also in value addition of cocoa. In this regard, a lot of breakthroughs have also been made.
In CRIN, we have done so many things with the help of our Hebrew Executive Director. We have been able to work on cocoa. Maybe I'll start listing them one after the other. From cocoa beans, we have been able to add value to produce cocoa wine. We have cocoa bread. We have chocolate gari. We have developed beverage from cocoa. We have the 3-in-1 ready-to-drink cocoa beverage also that already has the milk, sugar. You just open and add your hot water and start drinking. Apart from this, we have chocolates, which have been developed also. And among all this, We have various products that have been developed internally in Crane here. We have more than 25 products from whole and mandate crops.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development also has a yearly program of providing support for farmers in the area of distribution of improved varieties of cocoa and other inputs.
The support we have been giving is we give them agrochemicals, which they can spray in the case of pest or fungus. And we also give them skills how to harvest, because there are equipment we use for harvesting. So if you get that equipment, they can harvest easily, not necessarily climbing. They can do it from standing, they can harvest it. Then we also used to give them the drying tables, collapsible drying tables, because sometimes if you dry it on the floor, it can pick some impurities and it will take time to wash and so on. But there are flat tables that we normally give them so that they can spray their cocoa beans on top. When it gets dry, they collect it.
The Federal Ministry of Agriculture took it up to be supplying us. They started with poles for us to go and do the nursery. But at a stage, they discovered that this pot they are given, some people are depoting it. They are depoting it and sell it. So they start to be giving us seedlings. For this year, we've been giving seedlings, which is for the 3 zonal area that we have in Ogun State. That is Yewa, where we are now, Ijebu and Egba. Have distributed the seedlings according to their request.
The collaboration with the Cocoa Farmers Association of Nigeria has also led to the development of a new training manual for cocoa farmers, which has been a guide to enhance production.
The training manual was a concept of the Cocoa Farmers Association of Nigeria. It was a private-driven concept, but it was a laudable one. What we did was support the association in terms of logistics, and this has enhanced the distribution of the manual to other smallholder farmers in Nigeria.
The ministry is also collaborating with Ghana and other countries so that Nigeria can do some things differently in order to enhance cocoa value chain. One impact of this international collaboration is in the area of regulation.
Nigeria is the fourth. We have Ghana, we have Cote d'Ivoire, we have Indonesia. These are the 3 that are ahead of us. As I mentioned earlier, we took a visit to Ghana to see what are they doing right that we are not doing. And in fact, they advised us to be in that association with them. They are already together. It's an initiative between Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire, trying to see how they can support their local farmers. So when we had that, we now took a visit to them so that we can also join. And in fact, we went with the expression of interest and we were accepted. Now we are part and parcel of them.
Thanks for joining us again on the program Transforming Agriculture.
Do you have any question about the agricultural sector?
You have crossbreeds that are fast growing. The antiseptic poverty as well is also very...
Do you have inquiries on any issues raised on the program?
The fish has been kept here since Monday, that's about 2 days ago.
Would you like to know more on agricultural processes and practice? Do send us an SMS to the number showing on your screen. You can also reach us on any of our social media platforms for more information.
The future looks bright for cocoa farming in Nigeria. The Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development is doing all it can to take the country back to its place of pride in cocoa production and even surpass it. And all things being equal, that goal is achievable. This is the much we can take in this episode of the program. Special thanks to the Directorate of Information of the Ministry for its support. Keep a date with us same time, same station, next week for another interesting package. I'm your guide, Gabriel Ojile. Good night.